Have you ever been in a situation where you felt that someone wasn't being entirely genuine with you? Perhaps it's that uneasy feeling when you're talking to someone, and you just can't shake the sense that they might dislike you, even if they're not saying it outright. It can be incredibly confusing and emotionally draining to navigate these types of relationships. Often, people have their own reasons for hiding their true feelings, whether it's fear of confrontation, social norms, or simply not wanting to cause drama. Understanding the subtle signs of hidden dislike can help you protect your emotional well-being and navigate social interactions more effectively. Here are 7 signs that someone might actually dislike you, but is doing their best to hide it. First and foremost, let's talk about body language. Body language is a powerful communicator of feelings, often conveying emotions that words can't express. If you notice that someone frequently crosses their arms when you're talking to them, or if they lean away as if trying to create distance, that could indicate discomfort or aversion. For instance, you might be chatting with a colleague at work, and instead of leaning in to engage with you, they keep their arms tightly crossed and shift their weight away. This physical barrier can signal that they're not open to the conversation or that they're feeling defensive. Similarly, fidgeting or avoiding facing you directly can indicate that they're not fully present or interested in the interaction. While it's essential to remember that everyone has their quirks, persistent signs like these can suggest a deeper underlying issue. Next, let's consider their communication style. If you find that this person often gives you short or disinterested responses, it might be a sign of their hidden feelings. Think about how conversations flow. Ideally, they should feel balanced and engaging. If you're met with one-word answers, nods, or vague replies like, "yeah," or "I guess," it can feel like pulling teeth to keep the conversation going. For example, you might ask about their weekend, and instead of sharing stories or asking you about yours, they simply respond, "It was fine." This lack of engagement can be frustrating and may indicate that they're not invested in building a relationship with you. Genuine conversation involves curiosity and a willingness to connect, so if they're not reciprocating, it could be a red flag. Another sign to look for is the lack of personal engagement. When someone dislikes you, they might avoid asking questions about your life or show little interest in sharing their experiences. Imagine being at a social gathering where you're excited to share your recent vacation stories, but every time you try to engage, they redirect the conversation to something else, or they simply don't ask any follow-up questions. This behavior can feel dismissive, and it often reflects a reluctance to connect on a deeper level. People who genuinely enjoy your company will want to learn more about you and share their own experiences. So when someone consistently keeps conversations superficial, it may indicate a desire to keep you at arm's length. Now, let's discuss eye contact, or rather the lack of it. Eye contact is a fundamental aspect of communication and connection. When someone avoids looking you in the eye during conversations, it can feel like they're trying to hide something. If you're talking to this person and they frequently glance away, stare at their phone, or focus on something else in the room, it might indicate discomfort or a lack of interest in what you're saying. For instance, during a meeting, if you notice that they seem to be looking everywhere except at you while you're presenting an idea, it could suggest that they don't want to engage with you, or that they're not taking your contributions seriously. Eye contact establishes trust and connection, so if they consistently avoid it, pay attention to what that might mean for your relationship. Another common sign is the use of sarcasm or backhanded compliments. Some people mask their true feelings with humor, particularly sarcasm, which can be a way to express dislike without being overtly confrontational. If someone frequently makes snide comments or backhanded compliments, it can feel confusing. For example, they might say something like, "Wow, you're really brave to wear that outfit," or, "I wish I could pull off that look like you do." While these statements may sound like compliments, they carry an undertone of criticism that can be quite hurtful. This kind of communication often reflects a deeper resentment or dislike that they're not willing to confront directly. If you find yourself on the receiving end of these remarks, it's important to recognize that they might be hiding negative feelings beneath a veneer of humor. Next, let's consider the issue of gossip. If you hear that this person has been talking behind your back or spreading rumors, it's a clear indication that they're not a fan. Gossip can be particularly damaging and can create a toxic environment. For instance, if you learn from a mutual friend that this person has made negative comments about you or your work, it can be disheartening. Gossiping often stems from insecurity or a desire to elevate oneself by putting others down. When someone dislikes you, they might feel the need to belittle you to feel better about themselves or to gain approval from others. This behavior can be a significant red flag, indicating that they're not genuinely interested in fostering a positive relationship with you. Finally, let's address changes in behavior. If someone who was once friendly and engaging suddenly becomes cold or distant, it's worth paying attention to those changes. People can shift their behavior for various reasons, and if you notice a marked difference in how they interact with you, it might be a sign that their feelings have changed. For example, you might have had a close friendship, but after a disagreement or a shift in circumstances, they start to avoid you or interact with you in a much more reserved manner. This change can be confusing and painful, especially if you're unsure of what caused it. It's essential to recognize that not everyone will be transparent about their feelings, and sometimes it's necessary to trust your instincts and evaluate whether this relationship is worth pursuing. In conclusion, recognizing these signs that someone dislikes you while hiding it can be crucial for maintaining your emotional health and building healthy relationships. While it's important not to jump to conclusions based on one or two behaviors, a pattern of these signs can indicate that the person may not have your best interests at heart. Trust your instincts and prioritize relationships with those who genuinely appreciate and respect you. Navigating social dynamics can be challenging, but being aware of these subtle cues can empower you to make informed choices about the people you choose to surround yourself with. Remember, it's always okay to distance yourself from individuals who bring negativity into your life. Your emotional well-being matters,